Good morning, everyone. Alexander sir, it is 7:30, sir.
Please start.
And YouTube live, Sanish has started.
Please start.
Anchors can start.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Preeti ma'am.
A very happy morning to one and all. I would like to begin with a quote of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny, and now the time comes when we shall redeem our pledge. At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will wake up to life and freedom. Unquote. The air was filled with the singing melodies of freedom. सरफरोशी की तमन्ना अब हमारे दिल में है, देखना है जोर कितना बाजुए कातिल में है. Thousands laid down their lives so that our country can celebrate this day. Today, here we stand as a country rich in cultural history and united in the diversities. So let us begin this day with a grand salute to all the martyrs who gifted us an independent India. A very happy and pleasant morning to one and all. On behalf of the President, members of the School Management Committee, principal, staff and students of Indian School Darset, I extend a warm welcome to all present here for the 74th Independence Day celebration of India. Ladies and gentlemen, the chief guest for today's event is Mr. Jaykish Pavitran, President, School Management Committee. We are indeed honored by your presence this morning. A very cordial welcome to you, sir. The Indian flag is the symbol of our freedom, national pride, and history. I request you all to kindly stand in attention and join the school choir for the national anthem of India.
तव शुभ नामे जागे, तव शुभ आशीष मांगे, गाहे तव जय गाथा. जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता. जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you and kindly be seated. Due to the current situation, the participants have sung and recorded the national anthem individually, which was later edited and compiled by our very own music sir, Mr. Suresh K. Nair. I would now like to call upon Akarsh Vincent, Deputy Head Boy, to give the welcome address.
To quote Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India, we end today a period of ill fortune and India discovers herself again. The achievement we celebrate today is but a step, an opening of an opportunity to the greater triumphs and achievements that awaits us. Unquote. Yes, this is a life and opportunity secured 73 years ago through never-ending struggles, heroic sacrifices, and exemplary martyrdoms. This is the 74th celebration of life and freedom for which we have come together even in the midst of the global pandemic COVID-19. Respected President, School Management Committee, Mr. Jayakesh Pavitran, who is our chief guest today, Mr. Sirajuddin Nehlat, BOD, Indian School Darset, and Director in Charge, BOD, Indian School Darset, Vice President, Mr. Sebastian Chungat, Convener, Mr. Ajit Vasudevan, Treasurer, Mr. Afroz Ahmed, other esteemed members of the School Management Committee, Acting Principal, Mr. Alexander G. Verghese, Vice Principal, Primary Section, Mrs. Geeta Chauhan, Assistant Vice Principal, Senior School, Mrs. Beena Govind, Assistant Vice Principal, Operations, Dr. Jacob Pratapraj, Supervisors, Coordinators, all staff members, dear parents, students, and well-wishers of ISD, a very good and pleasant morning to you all. It's my privilege and pleasure as the Deputy Head Boy of Indian School Darset to welcome you all to the 74th Independence Day celebration of India. To begin with, we have a great person who leaves no stone at ISD unturned. He leads the ISD fraternity in such a way that the school has been scripting success stories in all levels and aspects. Much of the credit goes to this leader, who is none other than our president, Mr. Jayakesh Pavitran. On behalf of everyone here, I extend a warm welcome to you, sir. I would also like to welcome Mr. Sirajuddin Nehlat, Director BOD and Director Indian School Darset. Though only second in command, our Vice President, Mr. Sebastian Chungat, has been taking an active part in most of the activities of the school, giving guidance and instructions aimed at making ISD the most preferred Indian community school in Oman. I would like to give a cordial welcome to our President for today's celebration. Next, we have Mr. Ajit Vasudevan, Convener, and Mr. Afroz Ahmed, Treasurer, School Management Committee, whose experience and expertise have contributed a lot for the all-round development of the school. Let me extend a pleasant welcome to you, sirs. ISD owes a great deal of management support to all our esteemed members of the School Management Committee, without whose voluntary and valuable service, innovative ideas born through the subcommittees, the school would not have scaled such dizzying heights of glory. I extend a hearty welcome to sirs and madams for today's fervor and joy. For a ship to sail through turbulent waters, it needs a captain who exhibits unusual courage and vibrancy. You may not be surprised when I say this captain is Mr. Alexander G. Verghese, the acting principal, whose charismatic leadership has helped the school bring a lot of laurels. With immense pleasure, I welcome you, sir, from the core of my heart. I would also like to welcome Mrs. Geeta Chauhan, Vice Principal, Primary Section, Mrs. Beena Govind, Assistant Vice Principal, Senior School, Dr. Jacob Pratapraj, Assistant Vice Principal, Operations, Mr. E.K. Hemraj, Supervisor, Senior School, Mr. Benny Sam, Supervisor, Primary Section, Coordinators, Heads of Departments, especially Mr. Lale Pillai, HOD Co-Scholastics, and the coordinator of today's event. I would also like to welcome the teachers in charge of Student Council, those of the other items of the program, and participants for your untiring efforts to bring patriotic zeal to today's event. Finally, I would like to welcome all teachers, non-teaching staff, parents, students, and all well-wishers of ISD for your benign presence to make our celebration a grand success. Once again, I extend a very warm welcome to all of you to this special Independence Day celebrations and wish you plentiful moments of patriotic spirit and enthusiasm. Jai Hind.
Feel the freedom. Strive for peace. Spread love and let hate cease. May I now invite our chief guest for the day, Mr. Jaikesh Pavitran, President SMC, for his address and to read the extracts from the President of India's Independence Day message. Over to you, sir.
Good morning to you all. I wish a very happy Independence Day. This year, we celebrate the great moments in different way. Whatever the obstacles or hindrances in our life never stops us to celebrate our Independence Day. Respected Director in Charge, Mr. Siraj Nehlat, Honorable Members of School Management Committee, Alexander G. our Acting Principal, Vice Principal, Assistant Vice Principals, Supervisors, Coordinators, Head of the Departments, Teachers, Parents, students. We are celebrating 74th Independence Day with social distancing and all we are trying to overcome this pandemic by sacrificing our freedom and limiting ourselves to be a corner place like social distancing. I would like to go straight to my entrusted responsibility to read out the message of our Honorable President of India. Quote, my dear fellow citizens, Namaskar. It gives me great pleasure to greet all the people of India living in the country and abroad on the eve of the 74th Independence Day. August 15 fills us with the excitement of unfurling the tricolor, taking part in celebrations and listening to patriotic songs. On this day, the youth of India should feel the special pride of being citizens of a free nation. We gratefully remember our freedom fighters and martyrs whose sacrifices have enabled us to live in an independent nation. The ethos of our freedom struggle forms the foundation of modern India. Our visionary leaders brought together a diversity of worldviews to forge a common national spirit. They were committed to the cause of liberating Bharat Mata from oppressive foreign rule and securing the future of her children. Their thoughts and actions shaped the identity of India as a modern nation. We are fortunate that Mahatma Gandhi became the guiding light of our freedom movement. As much a saint as a political leader, he was a phenomenon that could have happened only in India. Troubled by social strife, economic problems, and climate change and action, relief in Gandhiji's teachings. His quest for equality and justice is the mantra for our republic. I'm glad to see the younger generations rediscover Gandhiji. Dear fellow citizens, the celebrations of Independence Day this year will be rather restrained. The reason is obvious. The whole world confronts a deadly virus which has disrupted all activities and taken a huge toll. It has altered the world we lived in before the pandemic. It is very reassuring to note that the central government, while anticipating the tremendous challenges, responded effectively and well in time. For a country so vast and diverse with high population, density meeting this challenge requires superhuman efforts. All state governments took measures in accordance with local circumstances. People also supported wholeheartedly. With our committed efforts, we have succeeded in containing the magnitude of pandemic and saving a large number of lives. This is worth emulating by the wider world. The nation is indebted to doctors, nurses, and other health workers who have been continuously on the forefront of our fight against this virus. Unfortunately, many of them have lost their lives battling the pandemic. They are our national heroes. All corona warriors deserve high praise. They go much beyond their call of duty to save lives and ensure essential services. These doctors, health workers, members of disaster management teams, police personnel, sanitation workers, delivery staff, transportation, railway and aviation personnel, providers of various services, government employees, social service organizations, and general citizens have been scripting inspiring stories of courage and selfless service. When cities and towns go quiet and roads are deserted, they work tirelessly to ensure that people are not deprived of health care and relief, water and electricity, transport and communication facilities, milk and vegetables, food and groceries, medicine and other essentials. They risk their own life to save our life and livelihood. Amid this crisis, Cyclone Amphan hit us in West Bengal and Odisha. Coordinated responses of disaster management teams, central and state agencies, and alert citizens helped minimize loss of life. Floods have been disrupting lives of our people in the northeast and eastern states. Amid such onslaughts of disasters, it is gratifying to see all sections of society coming together to help those in distress. Dear fellow citizens, the poor and daily wage earners are the worst hit by the pandemic. In order to support them through this phase of crisis, virus containment efforts have been supplemented by welfare interventions. By introducing Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, the government has enabled crores of people to earn their livelihood and mitigate the impact of job loss, dislocation and disruption caused by the pandemic. The government continues to extend its helping hand through a number of initiatives supported wholeheartedly by the corporate sector, civil society and citizens. The needy are being given free food grains so that no family goes hungry. The largest free food distribution program in the world has been extended till end of November 2020 to provide succor to about 80 crore people every month. in order to ensure that migratory ration and ration card holders get ration anywhere in the country. All states are being brought under the coverage of One Nation, One Ration Card scheme. Committed to taking care of our people stranded anywhere in the world, the government has brought back more than 10 lakh Indians under the Vande Bharat mission. Indian Railways has been operating train services in these challenging circumstances to facilitate travel and transportation of people and goods. Confident of our strengths, we reached out to help other countries in their fight against COVID-19. In responding to calls from countries for supply of medicines, India has once again shown that it stands by the global community in times of distress. We have been at the forefront in evolving regional and global strategies for an effective response to the pandemic. The overwhelming support India got at the elections for the non-permanent seat of the United Nations Security Council is a testimony to the goodwill we enjoy internationally. It has been the tradition of India that we do not just live for ourselves, but work for the well-being of the entire world. India's self-reliance means being self-sufficient without alienating or creating distance from the world. It implies that India will continue to engage with the world economy while maintaining its identity. Dear fellow citizens, the world now realizes what our sages had said long ago. The global community is but one family, Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam. However, even while the world community needs to fight together against the greatest challenge before humanity, some in our neighborhood tried to carry out their misadventure of expansion. Our brave soldiers laid down their lives defending our borders. Those worthy sons of Bharat Mata lived and died for national pride. The entire nation salutes the martyrs of Galwan Valley. Every Indian feels grateful to their family members. Their bravery in combat has demonstrated that while we believe in peace, we are also capable of giving befitting response to any attempt of aggression. We are proud of the members of our armed forces, paramilitary forces, and police personnel who protect the borders and ensure our internal security. I believe in the fight against COVID-19, life and livelihood both are essential. We have looked at the current crisis as an opportunity to initiate reforms to revitalize the economy for the benefit of all, especially farmers and small entrepreneurs. Landmark reforms have been introduced in agriculture sector. Now farmers can have barrier-free trade and get the best price for their produce anywhere in the country. The Essential Commodities Act has been amended to remove certain regulatory restrictions on farmers. This will help raise farmers' income. Dear fellow citizens, we have learned some tough lesson in the year 2020. The invisible virus has demolished the illusion that human being is the master of nature. I believe it is still not too late for humanity to correct its course and live in harmony with nature. The pandemic, like climate change, has awakened the global community to our shared destiny. In my view, human-centric collaboration is more important than economy-centric inclusion in the present context. The greater this change, the better it will be for the humanity. The 21st century should be remembered as a century when humanity put aside differences and collaborated to save the planet. The second lesson is that we are all equal before Mother Nature and we primarily depend on our fellow residents for survival and growth. Coronavirus does not recognize any artificial divisions created by human society. This reinforces the belief that we need to rise above all man-made differences, prejudices, and barriers. Compassion and mutual help have been adopted as basic values by the people in India. We need to further strengthen this virtue in our conduct. Only then can we create a better future for all of us. The third lesson is about augmenting health infrastructure. Public hospitals and laboratories have been leading the fight against COVID-19. Public health services have helped the poor cope with the pandemic. In view of this, public health infrastructure needs to be expanded and strengthened. The fourth lesson relates to science and technology. The pandemic has highlighted the need to accelerate developments in science and technology. During the lockdown and subsequent unlocking, information and communication technology has emerged as an effective tool for governance, education, business, office work, and social connect. It has helped meet the twin objectives of saving lives and resumption of activities. Offices of the Government of India and of the state governments have been extensively using virtual interface to discharge their functions. The judiciary has been conducting virtual court proceedings to deliver justice. In Rashtrapati Bhavan also, we have used technology to conduct virtual conferences and carry out many activities. IT and communication tools have promoted e-learning and distance education. Work from home has become the norm in many sectors. Technology has enabled certain establishments in government and private sectors to work overtime to keep the wheels of the economy running. Thus, we have learned the lesson that adoption of science and technology in harmony with nature will help sustain our survival and growth. These lessons will prove useful to humanity. The younger generation has learned the lesson well, and I believe that the future of India is safe in their hands. These are difficult times for all of us, more so for youth. The closure of our education institutions would have caused anxiety among our girls and boys, casting shadow over their dreams and aspirations for the time being. However, I would like them to remember that these difficult times won't last and they should not give up working for their dreams. The past is full of inspiring examples of exciting reconstructions of societies, economies, and countries after such devastations. I am sure that our country and youth have a bright future. With a view to providing futuristic education to our children and youth, the central government has decided to implement the National Education Policy. I am confident that with the implementation of this policy, a new quality education system will be developed, and this will transform the future challenges into opportunities, paving the way for a new India. Our youth will be able to freely choose their subjects according to their interests and talents. They would have an opportunity to realize their potential. Our future generations will not only be able to get employment on the strength of such abilities, but will also create employment opportunities for others. The National Education Policy spells a long-term vision with far-reaching impact. It will strengthen the culture of inclusion, innovation, and institution in the sphere of education. Imparting education in the mother tongue has given emphasis in order to help young minds to grow spontaneously. This will strengthen Indian languages as well as the unity of country. Youth empowerment is essential for building a strong nation. The national education policy is a right step in this direction. My dear fellow citizens, only 10 days ago, construction of the temple at Sri Ram Janmabhoomi began in Ayodhya. It was indeed a moment of pride for all. People of the country maintained restraint and patience for a long time and reposed unflinching trust in the judicial system. The issue of Ram Janmabhoomi was resolved through judicial process. All concerned parties and the people respectfully accepted the verdict of Supreme Court and displayed before the world Indian ethos of peace, non-violence, love and harmony. I congratulate all fellow citizens for their commendable conduct. Dear fellow citizens, when India won freedom, many predicted that our experiment with democracy will not last long. They saw our ancient traditions and rich diversity as hurdles in democratization of our polity. But we have always nurtured them as a strength that makes the largest democracy in the world so vibrant. India has to continue playing its leading role for the betterment of humanity. The patience and wisdom being demonstrated by all of you in coping with the pandemic has been appreciated all over the world. I am confident that you will continue to maintain caution and act responsibly. We have a lot to offer the global community, especially for intellectual and spiritual enrichment and promotion of world peace. With this spirit, I offer a prayer for the well-being of one and all. Since it is written, I think, in Sanskrit, I am not expert in the language, but I'll try to read within my limitations. Please accept my apology on this. Sarva bhavantu sukhina, sarva santu niramaya, sarva bhadrani paschyantu, ma karishyadhu gabadru bhavantu. Bhavetu, I don't know. Anyway, sorry. It means, may all be happy, may all be free from illness, may all see what is auspicious, may no one come to grief. The message of this prayer for universal well-being is India's unique gift to humanity. I once again congratulate you on the eve of 74th Independence Day. I wish you good health and bright future. Thank you, Jai Hind, unquote. Thank you so much. Over to the anchor.
Thank you, sir, for those inspirational thoughts and words of wisdom. Let us uphold the ideals of our freedom fighters and march into the future with zeal and zest, where happiness and prosperity beckons one and all. Vande Mataram is not just a song, but much more for every Indian. It is soul-stirring and extremely effective that till date it arouses an intense patriotic fervor in each one of us. This song was a unifying force during India's freedom struggle. The freedom fighters and founding fathers of modern India had many a dream for our country's progress as a young nation at the time of independence. All of our previous generation have worked hard to realize these dreams and take India on a path of progress that has few equals. Chodo Kal Ki Baatein is a dedication to all these dreams and aspirations, and a salute to the efforts and sacrifices that went into transforming India into a powerful nation. Here we have a patriotic medley trained by Mrs. Sandhya Ramesh and Mrs. Swapna Nair.
वन्दे मातरम् वन्दे मातरम् सुजना सुफला मलयज शस्य श्यामलां मातरम् वन्दे मातरम् वन्दे मातरम्
कल की बात पुरानी नए दौर में लिखेंगे मिलकर नई कहानी हम हिंदुस्तानी छोड़ो कल की बातें कल की बात पुरानी नए दौर में लिखेंगे मिलकर नई कहानी हम हिंदुस्तानी हम हिंदुस्तानी हम हिंदुस्तानी हम हिंदुस्तानी आज पुरानी जंजीरों को तोड़ चुके हैं क्या देखे उस मंजिल को जो छोड़ चुके हैं चांद के दर पर जा पहुंचा है आज जमाना नए जगत से हम भी नाता जोड़ चुके हैं नया खून है नई ये अब है नई जवानी हम हिंदुस्तानी हम हिंदुस्तानी हम हिंदुस्तानी हम हिंदुस्तानी को अपनाए मां बनाए अपने हाथों को अपना भगवान बनाए राम की इस धरती को गौतम की भूमि को सपनों से भी प्यारा हिंदुस्तान बनाए नया खून है नई उमंग अब है नई जवानी हम हिंदुस्तानी हम हिंदुस्तानी हम हिंदुस्तानी
India, one of the oldest civilizations in the world, with a kaleidoscopic variety and rich cultural heritage, has achieved all-round socio-economic progress since independence. India has galloped ahead swiftly in today's world, and for us, this is the moment to celebrate our ethos and ethics, efforts and effectuations. Undoubtedly, nothing in this world can change our love for our country within our hearts. With freedom in our minds, faith in our words, pride in our souls, let's all be patriotic and salute our nation on this Independence Day. Next, we present before you a dance choreographed by Mrs. Sarla Devi Shankar and Mrs. Sumita Manoj, our dance teachers.
मातरम मेरे वतन के लोगों जरा आँख में भर लो पानी, जो शहीद हुए हैं उनकी जरा याद करो कुर्बानी। ठंडे से आते हैं हमें तड़पाते हैं, वो चिट्ठी आती है तो पूछे जाते हैं कि घर कब आओगे, कि घर कब आओगे, लिखो कब आओगे, कि तुम दिन ये घर सुना सुना है। मैं गया जहाँ भी बस तेरी याद थी, जो मेरे साथ थी, मुझको तड़पाती रुलाती, सबसे प्यारी तेरी सूरत प्यार है, बस तेरा प्यार ही। माँ तुझे सलाम, तुझे सलाम, मौला मेरे ले ले मेरी जान। ठंडे से आते हैं हमें तड़पाते हैं, वो चिट्ठी आती है तो पूछे जाते हैं कि घर कब आओगे, कि घर कब आओगे, लिखो कब आओगे, कि तुम दिन ये घर सुना सुना है।
अब तो हमें आगे बढ़ते हैं रहना, अब तो हमें साथी है बस इतना ही कहना। हम चलते हैं जब ऐसे तो दिल कुछ मन कहते हैं।
थोड़ी सी धूल मेरी धरती की, मेरे वतन की, थोड़ी सी खुशबू बारारी से मस्त बन की, थोड़ी सी धूपने वाली जिनमें हो जुनून वो समझे लाल लहू की। प्यारा मोहित रंग बसंती, झुके तेरे आगे सर, तेरी गोद मेरा घर है, तुझे सलाम इंडिया। झुके तेरे आगे सर, तेरी गोद मेरा घर है, तुझे सलाम इंडिया। सुबह ज्योत्स्ना पुलकित यामिनी, फूल कुसुमित द्रुमदल शोभिनी, सुहासिनी हासिनी सुमधुर भाषिणी सुखदा मातरम मातरम मातरम
That was indeed an amazing performance by the students. I'm sure it has brought alive a patriotic fervor in each one of us. I now call upon Abhirami Rajiv, Deputy Head Girl, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good morning to one and all. To quote Bhagat Singh, may the sun in his course visit no land more free, more happy, more lovely than this, our country. Unquote. Saluting India, where each bud blooms in its true colors, where each day is a celebration of unity, harmony, and synthesis. Today, we all have been here to celebrate the independence of our motherland in spite of this pandemic. And this is a clear depiction of our unity, which will prolong forever. While thanking the Almighty for His countless blessings, I'm here to spell out words of thanks to all those who made the 74th Independence Day of India, hosted by Indian School Darset, a great success. I deem it my proud privilege as the Deputy Head Girl of Indian School Darset to place on record the contribution of every noble heart towards the success of today's event. On behalf of Indian School Darset, I wish to express my heartfelt gratitude to our chief guest for today, Mr. Jaikesh Pavitran, President, School Management Committee. Thank you, sir, for making this event a memorable one. We are indeed honored to have with us Mr. Sirajuddin Nehlat, Director, Board of Directors, and Director in Charge, Indian School Darset. Thank you, sir, for being here. I take this opportunity to convey our sincere gratitude to Mr. Sebastian Chungat, Vice President, School Management Committee, Mr. Ajit Vasudevan, Convener, Mr. Afroz Ahmed, Treasurer, and all the other esteemed members of the School Management Committee for their unstinting support. I wish to express our sincere gratitude to our acting principal, Mr. Alexander G. Verghese, whose constant encouragement and guidance has always motivated us. Thank you, sir. I'm very grateful to our Vice Principal, Primary Section, Mrs. Geeta Chauhan, for all her counsel and encouragement. I would also like to thank our Assistant Vice Principal, Senior School, Mrs. Veena Govind, and our Assistant Vice Principal, Operations, Dr. Jacob Pratapraj, for their support and guidance. We render our sincere thanks to Mr. E.K. Hemraj, Supervisor, Senior School, Mr. Benny Sam, Supervisor, Primary Section, Coordinators, Primary Section, and Head of the Departments. With deep sense of appreciation, we recall the efforts of Mr. Lal A. Pillai, Head of Co-Scholastic and the overall event coordinator, for playing a pivotal role in conducting this event. With immense pleasure, we thank our music and dance teachers wholeheartedly for their stewardship in bringing in the patriotic fervor throughout the event. Our special thanks goes to Master Prithvilal Anilal, former HSC Secretary, Indian School Darset, for his valuable contributions in both these events. We also thank the participants of both the events for their hard work, which did bear much fruit today. We are indeed grateful to convey a sincere thanks to our anchoring team, our ICT department, and our art department for their brilliant support in the smooth functioning of this event. A special word of gratitude to our Baiju sir for the invitation card and banner of the event. I hereby take this opportunity to thank our beloved teachers and the non-teaching staff of Indian School Darset who have been associated with the planning, preparation and execution in making this event a grand success. We would like to convey our sincere gratitude to our student council, and we also thank our friends who have been part of this event throughout. Thanks to all our parents and well-wishers for the solid support and appreciation. So Indians, let's bear freedom in the mind, faith in the words, and pride in our souls. Let's salute our nation on this Independence Day. Jai Hind.
As we come to the end of the celebrations, on behalf of the principal, staff, and students of ISD, I take this opportunity to express my gratitude to Mr. Jayekish Pavitran, President SMC, other members of the School Management Committee, invitees, and parents for having come to share the experience of the 74th Independence Day celebrations of ISD. Let us be one and be proud of our beloved nation. We all have to collectively strive to make India vibrant, strong, and supreme. Happy Independence Day. Jai Hind.